All right, what is good, my ninjas? Welcome to the stream. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Social Circle game and how to deploy this in your local area immediately and begin networking with the right people in order to boost your social life. Okay, so welcome to the stream. My name is Rob Based, and I am a dating and relationship coach. I started helping out divorced dads, and now I'm focusing my attention to help out Asian guys because, well, listen, we got it the worst out here. I mean, with the desexualization of Asian men in Hollywood, to the small PP stereotypes and so on, like Asian men do not do well in the sexual marketplace, and I think it's due to a lack of knowledge and understanding of female nature. So I've kind of built a mini catalog of content this entire month of December. Um, for those of you guys have kind of tuned in, I've streamed live every single day. Well, minus a couple days, and I've left some clues to help Asian guys figure this out. All right. So you can go back and binge some of the content and learn as much as you can. Because next year, I'm going to be starting to bring out the big guns. Okay. I'm going to start doing some more advanced content. And I'm going to be bringing a different style of video as well. So, but I want everyone to get caught up and up to date with everything first. So, we can really start ramping things up next year. All right. So all I ask is you guys like the video. I'm not charging anything for you guys for this knowledge. So, I mean, a lot of it can be found on the internet, but it's time consuming trying to figure out like which advice is actually legit or not. Plus, a lot of content creators out there say some pretty conflicting things. And honestly, I wouldn't give any advice here that I wouldn't personally do. All right. So if you end up getting some value out of the stream, then make sure to subscribe so we can grow this channel and then we can do bigger things with it. All right. It's going to be word of mouth referrals that is literally going to help and grow this channel. So, as the stuff I talk about isn't really algorithm friendly, if you guys know what I mean. All right. And I'm also streaming live on Rumble. So if I end up disappearing from YouTube or whatever, you guys know where to find me. And yeah, all right, let's get into the stream. Today, I'm going to be diving in on how to start how to start building up a social circle in your area so that you can network with the who's who and you can also meet some baddies in the process, okay? And you can't really rely on cold approach and dating apps these days, as only the conventionally attractive people win that game. Okay, like the top 10% of guys are getting all the matches on dating apps, and pretty much it's an uphill battle for guys who aren't really high on the totem pole. Let's say, okay, a lot of women filter dudes out through height, and so if you're a short king, then well, you probably are being ratioed by these dating apps, and you don't even get a chance to show up like on these women's apps. Okay, not to mention it's mostly guys on there anyways, right? And so the apps are designed for guys to pay to play, so you're just wasting valuable resources trying to deal with pretty much the bottom of the barrel. All right, most of these girls on dating apps aren't even like, that's a whole nother story. All right, so now I'm not really saying that you shouldn't use dating apps. You should be more like focused on social circle game more than anything. And you can use dating apps as a supplement, but the way I see it, social circle game is pretty much the main course, okay? It's the steak on the plate, okay? And dating apps is like the vegetables, okay? You came to dinner for the steak, so you might as well finish the steak. And it's okay to leave some of the veggies on the plate because it's not that important, all right? So with that, let's get into it, okay? I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to lay it out in a visual way so you guys can follow along, see how simple it really is. And just FYI, I made this a while back for a funnel that I was doing when I was running ads on Instagram. So just excuse some of the wording on there because whatever, like it's just not usually how I speak, okay? But there's just going to be there. Um, so 1 second. And shout out to Ken in the chat. Definitely like the video, guys. All right. So if you guys can see my screen here. Okay, there it is. There we go. Bombaclot. All right. Okay. So in today's globalized sexual marketplace, there's a wrong way of doing things and there's a right way of doing things, okay? The wrong way is going out and pretending that you're something you're not, okay? And manipulating women to sleep with you. That's pretty much 90% of pickup, okay? And the right way to involves attracting the women into your life by becoming the man worth pursuing, okay? So you got to do a lot of work to become that man, all right? But it can be done. And basically, at the end of this stream, you're going to learn how to become a high value man so that you can network and build with other men in your like social status, like other men in your social circle, to build a high status network of high status men and beautiful women. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys how to demonstrate high value with your social media by creating or attending events that only the elite of the elite can attend. Okay. So the most important thing you can do is you need a social media presence, okay? And it needs to be optimized so that it's ready to attract stunning, attractive, high quality women all over the world, okay? Um, a lot of guys don't know how to do this, and I'm pretty much just going to show you briefly how. And then tomorrow, I'm also going to do a stream a little bit more in depth on, how to do this a little bit more properly, all right? Um, hold on, what's going on here? Okay, just making sure you guys can see my screen. Okay. Um, so you're going to want to learn how to be a leader, and you're going to create these events that people want to attend. Okay. This is just a little bit about me. I've been doing this thing for a while now. Okay. I used to do this like 6, 7 years ago. Um, I wrote books, created a lot of content helping out divorced fathers, and I ended up meeting a lot of dudes that were high net worth, and just even regular guys too. Okay, so pretty much I've taught this method to both guys, and it works for both of them. Okay, so and the way that this strategy is designed so that anyone can do it, from the average Joe to even guys who have a high net worth already. Okay, because just because you have a lot of money and you're successful in business or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're good with women. Okay, so there's a right, like I said, there's a right way of doing things and there's a wrong way of doing things. Okay. So anyone who implements this strategy, I guarantee you're going to build a powerful social circle that is going to bring a never-ending network of beautiful women and wanting to be in your life. Okay. Um, so yeah, I had to call it the masculinity model because I think whatever, the algorithm doesn't like the word social circle game. So anyway, um, so who's this for? It's most likely you. You're probably sitting there struggling with dating. You've been either divorced or you're heartbroken, right? You hate women and stuff like that, and you have zero social media presence. Okay, you probably have really unattractive photos of yourself, and you really don't do the things to create an abundance of a social life. And so what that leads to is you have no hot woman friends in your circle, and then you also have these self-limiting beliefs around women, thinking that you can't do it yourself and whatnot. All right. So the first thing you have to do is you have to create a social media presence. Okay. Um, in today's day and age, if you want to stop dealing with the bottom of the barrel women on your dating apps, then you need to create a social media presence. Okay. Long and gone are the old days where you can meet a girl on the street or trying your hand at pickup and cold approach, like cold approaching women at your grocery store. Okay. Women view this as low value behavior, right? Think about Drake or anybody else who's high value, right? Like, think about them going to a mall, randomly approaching women to go on a date with them, right? Like, they're gonna think like, wow, this guy's down bad, right? Like, you know, PUAs, like pickup artists, like they're gonna force you guys to go to clubs, bars, use these cheesy one-liners to see if like any of these like will work, and it's pretty much just like the spaghetti on the wall tactic. And if it doesn't, then you got to keep trying and trying again. And not only are you going to be surrounded by low quality, less desirable women at these events, but most of the time you're going to lose to a dude who's higher value than you, like the guy who's promoting the event, or even the DJ. And then maybe like the owner of the club is going to come down and just scoop these women off of you. Like, it's it's just an uphill battle for you guys trying to do this stuff. All right. So you have to understand, like, this is completely a numbers game. Okay. And you basically have to use force and sheer will to manage to get one girl to sleep with you. Okay. Not to mention like all the time and money you have to waste trying to buy these girls drinks and chat them up. Not to mention, like, if you get turned down by a group of women, it's just almost impossible to come back from that. Okay, especially when you're at one event, because all women talk and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, those are the creepy dudes or whatever, right? Like, so just it's just a bad look. All right. Um, so what is a better way of doing is just making sure that you have an optimal social media presence. Okay, and then it makes you set up so that you can network with people who are in higher perceived social circles than you, right? Like the hottest of hottest women, they know who's who in their local area, okay? And not to mention, like, they're gonna um try to vet you some way. And the easiest way to be vetted by these hot women or whatever is to have a social media presence, right? Because they can creep your page and whatnot and then figure out whether or not like you're a guy worth pursuing. Okay. Um, and you're gonna get a much more warmer response from these girls. Like I said, who are gonna be like sixes at best at these club settings, okay? But um, when you show yourself living a fun and cool lifestyle, women are gonna want to join in on that fun. So that's basically what you're gonna have to do on your social media is you're gonna have to try to set up your profile in a way where these girls can look at your lifestyle and be like, wow, this guy's actually a cool dude. And I kind of want to, hang out with this guy. All right. So a lot of you guys are probably wondering, like, what kind of post do I need to make, right? And so basically, anything that is luxurious, lavish, and scarce. Okay. So, like, you could be, Googling kind of like, the happening spots in your area or whatever, going to those spots, ordering some food, ordering some drinks or whatever, taking photos and pictures of you having a good time at that place, all right, posting it on your stories and just creating a lifestyle that when people are looking in on it, they're like, wow, this guy's actually a pretty cool dude. um and if you're not a social media guy, then you have to create one, okay? And like, it's better to start from scratch than have nothing at all. And the reason why you need a social media nowadays is because, I talked about it on the last stream, is that like these women fantasize about, you know, soft launching and hard launching their boyfriend or their future husband on their Instagram accounts or their social media, right? Because like nowadays, like that's how people keep up with each other. That's how like, people stay in contact with each other, and like women have this shit like on lock. Okay. And if you want to play the game correctly, then you're going to have to start putting yourself out there in a bigger way. Okay. Um, you probably think social media is a waste of time. Well, look, there's a difference between passively using it and actively using it. Okay. Like if you're doom scrolling and then, yeah, obviously that's a waste, right? But if you're using it correctly, like a tool, then it becomes this resource to attract an abundance of women into your life. Okay, so you do it once, you set it up, you continue to do it, and then basically you have this never-ending funnel of women, um, you know, coming in and out of your life through social media. Because, like I said, it's like where everybody likes to hang out. Okay, and most hot girls, like, they're not even on dating apps. Okay, like they think it's embarrassing to be on a dating app because um just it's just embarrassing, right? They're gonna think like, wow, are you like she's down bad, right? So um most hot girls don't want to go on there because they think, oh, I'll just get approached or I'll meet a guy in real life. Okay, it just it hurts their ego a little bit. Okay, so you're gonna have more of a better chance meeting a hotter chick on social media than you will on dating apps. Okay. um do you need to post women on your social media? Honestly, like, no, but it doesn't hurt, okay? And pre-selection, it's a way for women to see that, you're a viable option in the market, okay? Like when you're seen with beautiful women, it makes you more attractive in general, okay? And then women would just want to insert themselves into your life without you having to lift a finger, basically, okay? Um, do I need to hire a professional photographer if I don't know how to take pictures? Then I would always recommend doing so, but you don't have to, because a lot of, these iPhones nowadays and even like the Samsung Pixels, like they take really good photos. Okay. Just make sure that you know just the basic editing skills, or you can hire a guy on Fiverr to edit your photos or whatever, and just make it a little bit more high quality. Okay. Um, and you don't need to be DMing women all day and night. Okay, that's not what you're supposed to do. Okay, you can definitely implement that into your strategy, but like if you're doing it correctly, you're going out on the weekends, you're posting, fine dining food, or you got, you're at some pool party, or you're at some mansion, or you're on private boats or yachts or whatever. like women are gonna just respond to those stories and post and be like, yo, bring me next time or whatever, right? Or oh damn, that food looks good, right? That's the point. You want these women to reach out to you and respond to you because, like I said, this is a way of um, checking for genuine burning desire from the chick, and that's usually a good sign as opposed to you cold DMing and stuff like that. Okay. Um, so the better solution to meet girls randomly is to create your own events. Okay, or you can gain access to sort of like the elite venues in your area. So like once you start going to like the happening spots or whatever, right? Like you're gonna see like the bartender every time, and you're gonna see like maybe the owner will come by and shake your hand, but you want to be rubbing shoulders with these people, and then just get social. Like, hey, so what are you guys up to this weekend? Like, what's going on? What's happening in town? And they're gonna tell you like, oh, there's this party, there's that party, right? So you can go and network with the people that are kind of already doing this. Okay, like trust me, there's already other dudes who have figured this shit out like long before you, and they've been doing this for a while. Okay, so there's no shame in wanting to network with like the top 20% of guys that are already doing that. Okay, and again, it's a breath of fresh air because you're not limiting yourself to the bottom of the barrel type women, like I said, right? Like these girls who are on social media and stuff like that, like they're sorry, the girls who are on like dating apps and stuff like that, like those girls are like the bottom of the barrel. Okay, they're like these weird introverted weirdos and nerds and geeks that like have social awkwardness, and they're just like trying to put themselves out there, right? Like you might run into a baddie or two on there, but literally like there's hundreds of guys DMing that one chick. Okay, so like it's literally like an uphill battle. Um, so trying to go out and meet these chicks, in real life is actually a better thing for you because then you can have your pick of the litter. Once you go and see a hot chick, then and she's giving you choosing signals, or you're seen with other hot women at this party. It's just a lot easier for you to introduce yourself to these chicks. Okay. Um, and I would consider those warm approaches as opposed to cold approaches, which I'm more of a fan of. Okay, like if you are gonna have to cold approach, at least make it warm, right? So like when you're at events with hot women or whatever, other hot women will notice that, and they're already talking to each other in their mind, like, oh yeah, hot women wouldn't associate with like creepy dudes or weirdo guys. So you've kind of already been vetted through these other hot chicks that are like, hanging out with you, and especially if you're having a good time, these women are, listening to you tell a story and whatever, and you're kind of like the life of the party for them. Like other women are gonna notice that, okay, and they're gonna want to try to like insert themselves into your vicinity. Okay, because like I said, it gives you social proof, right? Like it just, if especially if you're the guy running the event, right? If you're that go-to guy for that event, and you're the one creating them, then obviously the word is going to travel. People are going to be like, oh yo, that's so and so, this is the guy running the party, this is the guy who created this event or whatever, right? um it just makes it easier for women to want to talk to you. I've had girls just come up to me out of nowhere and be like, "Oh man, this was an amazing party, da 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 da," or whatever, right? It's just a lot easier positioning yourself there. But like I said, if that's not your thing, then you can always just go to these parties and befriend the dudes that are already creating it. Okay. When it's like exclusive and VIPs only type thing, right? Like again, it's only the top of the top, the creme de la creme. Okay. And this works because a lot of dudes out there aren't really the most attractive, let's say, right? Like if you're not if you're not really a conventionally attractive guy, um, and you position yourself as this high status, high value man or whatever, let's say, like people are just going to be nicer to you. Okay. Like women are going to insert themselves in your presence, and you're going to see how much easier it is to talk to women when you're that guy. All right. It's definitely important to bring value to every single one of these people. So like obviously you need to have something going on for yourself as well, right? Like this is why, I told you guys like, money muscles game. This is like the core 3 that a lot of people need to be working on each and every single day, upping their fucking worth and their value every single day, so that when you do go to these events, you have something to offer. Okay. And so when you are running the events though, you got to make sure that they are getting value from it as well, okay? All these people need to have a great time from start to finish, okay? And honestly, it takes a lot of preparation and planning to do all these kinds of things, and you can get women to help you and uh, so on and so forth, because they're a little bit more keen when it comes to, like, making making the guests feel good, let's say. All right. So you definitely want to be making sure that everyone is having a good time from start to finish. Okay. If you are the one creating the event. Um, so again, like, do you have to throw your own events? No. Like, when you're starting out, it's better to go to other people's events. But like, if you do go to those other of like another person's event, like, make sure it's just you and like all your hot single female friends. Okay. Because like, the dudes are gonna want to be like inviting you to more of those parties if you keep showing up with hot women, right? Because like I said, like, these guys are throwing these events so that they can eventually meet girls too. Okay? And so, when you start networking and building up like a social circle, you have to be mindful that you're not trying to sleep with all your hot single female friends, all right? Like, you got to control your lust a little bit and keep these girls sort of like on your side. Okay? So that when you are at these events, you can introduce them to some of the guys throwing the events or whatever. These guys are usually high net worth individuals. So you're actually doing your friends a solid by introducing your hot female friends to, these high net worth individuals, because that's what women are after anyway. So literally it's like a win-win if you can do that with, um, if you can juggle your hot single female friends and with these high net worth individuals, like, if you can do those things, you become a likable guy. Not only that, like, you're the guy that people go to invite first at these events, or they might even get you to like help host and things like that. Okay. And a lot of people think like, okay, do these things have to be like huge lavish parties or whatever? Like, ideally yes, but you don't really have to go to those lengths. It could be like just basic photo shoots, like a modeling showcase type of event or whatever, right? You can even run charity events, okay? And if you want to go, like, if you live in like a city where it's constantly warm or whatever, like, bikini contests do well, okay? But it doesn't always have to be something related to partying, okay? Like, where everyone's drinking and getting drunk. So if you can get creative and think about some events that people in your local area will want to show up to, then that's something that you got to get on board with people who are already doing it, or create like something that's a little bit of a hole in your local area. Like, if people are already doing these events, like, think about something that people aren't doing, okay, that other women and other guys would be interested in going to. um where do I find these events? All right, so obviously, you can go to like the main sources like Google, Eventbrite, Meetup.com, Facebook groups, right? Like, in your local area, like, you can do all those things. But I always recommend like having beautiful female friends. Okay, like, just go and friend zone every chick that you meet, and if they're super attractive, like, that's even better, because like, these women, okay, they're like, you don't understand that a lot of guys already are inviting these women to these kinds of parties, right? So like, women are getting invited to these things all the time, and trying to get to know them as friends without trying to sleep with every single one of them, it turns out in your benefit later on. Okay, like, these women make it easier for you to talk to other women from other groups. All right, so this is why I say, like, it's just a win-win-win when you can do these things and make sure that your social circle is filled with not just like hot women, but like, fun, exciting women, and also like high net worth guys that are looking, who are single and are looking to meet other women as well too. Okay, so that's one way of bringing value. If you're not like, if you feel like you haven't gotten it much going on or whatever, you live a boring life, well, this is one way to bring value to an event. Okay, um so this is kind of like, here, let me just make this a little bit smaller. All right, so this is something like I got off the internet, but basically, like, a lot of dudes, right, they don't know how to categorize women, right? They think that all women are alike, and I'm gonna date this one, or I'm gonna try to marry her, and when she's in the danger zone, like guys really need to figure out how to categorize women. And it gets a little bit tricky um when you're out there networking at these events, right? Because like you're going to meet a bunch of girls all at once. And if you don't have this kind of like in the back of your mind kind of like figured out, it's going to be almost like it's just going to be really hard for you to figure out whether or not like some girl is just finessing you or if she's actually worth pursuing. Okay, so this is just something to have in your mind. And basically on the left hand side of this axis is how crazy she is and how hot she is. Usually the hotter a girl is, like if she's a 10 hot and a 10 crazy, like those are usually like it's the danger zone. Okay, like these girls, like I said, you're gonna just try to friend zone them. Maybe you put them into the fun zone a little bit, have a little bit of fun with them, but you're not gonna really try to put them into the date zone or wife zone, right? A lot of guys have more success dealing with, the middle of the pack girls who are a bit, five to eight hot and about 5 to 6 7 crazy. You have to understand this scale starts at a 4 crazy because all women come at a baseline of 4 crazy. Okay, there's no such thing as a girl who's not crazy. Okay, so basically when you're out here trying to categorize these chicks, okay, put them into one of these categories or whatever, right? So clearly at the bottom here, a girl who's a 10 hot and a 4 crazy, it just doesn't exist, right? Because usually hotter women, they get crazier and crazier because of how many guys they've dealt with throughout their whole life. And it just like catapults them to the danger zone because like I said, they're just used and abused usually. And the older that they get, the more experience that they have. And you just, like I said, you just want to friend zone them all. Okay, friend zone them all. And then the ones who do show up in like the fun zone, you're going to try to move them to the date zone, right? And then to the wife zone eventually, right? So you're looking for a girl who's like about a 7 crazy and a 10 hot, as a baseline. Or sorry, an 8 hot and a 7 crazy as a baseline to figure out whether or not you want to wife her or not, okay? So yeah, as a man, you need to be objectively screening women and constantly categorizing them into these buckets. There are certain types of women who you need to avoid completely, which ones to friend zone, and then there are ones who are for recreational use only, okay? Most women come standard at a 4 crazy. If she's a 7 crazy and anywhere from 7 to 10 hot, then you're going to be in the danger zone, and these women need to be screened at all costs for dating purposes. Okay, these are women you should invite to be your friends, but that's about it. And then when you find a middle of the pack girl, then you want to put them in the fun zone while trying to move them to the date or wife zone. Remember, you as the leader, you're going to bring these women into a much more desirable zone by administering frame and boundaries, okay? By making them less crazy is pretty much what I'm trying to get at. Now, this diagram, obviously, it's a bit facetious. Hold up, let me see here. Ken's like, yeah, I need this chart for sure. Now this diagram is a bit facetious and not meant to be taken literally. Rather, it's going to give you an idea of what types of girls to avoid and what type of girls you want to be dating. All right. It's important that when you're out there networking with women, like you're aware that a single solitary woman can ruin your life, okay, your reputation and your entire setup. So be very careful out there. The hotter they are, the more entitled they become. And it's much easier to deal with a less hotter woman than it is to deal with like Tiffany, the lash artist, okay? But if you're out there just having fun, hey, just make sure you wrap it up. Don't get yourself into a situation with these girls. Also, note the women who are no-go zones, okay? They're a waste of time, and don't even bother trying to scrape the bottom with them, all right? You might as well just find them on dating apps because that's where they usually are, all right? But if they are at these events, most likely they're just filling up a quota, okay? And or they're friends with the hot chicks, okay? There is a way that you got to deal with these girls, okay? We call them mother hens, right? Like you'll see a lot of guys like try to approach the hot girls, and then the mother hen, usually the ugly one or the fat one, like she'll come in and be like, yeah, she's single, she's taken, and she'll try to clock block you or something like that. There's a way to deal with those chicks, but that's a whole nother stream, okay? But anyway, just don't fall into the trap of like trying to categorize these women that I'm going to sleep with them, or if they're not interested in me, then she's a whore, right? Like, just try to at least become friends with them so you get invited to more social circle gatherings where, you can meet her friends and friends of friends, right? Because sometimes they have other friends. All right. So let's put this all together. I call this the flywheel, the dating flywheel. And so at the top here, when you create a social media presence, okay, so when you have everything optimized up here, you have all like a nice grid of photos, you traveling, you doing expensive lavish things or whatever, and you have the social media presence up at the top. Well, when you go to these events or you create them yourself, you're gonna meet people here at these events, okay? And you're gonna be speed networking, and I've taught you guys how to speed network already. There's I think there was a stream that I did on, finding topics to talk about with these chicks to figure out whether or not, like, they're, for fun or whatever, going back into categorizing these chicks, right? There was a stream I did about that. So you guys can go back and learn a little bit about speed networking. But basically, in a nutshell, like at these events, you're going to be putting them to your social media, okay? Right? So you're going to meet them at these events, you're going to qualify them, figure out which ones, worth trying to network with, okay? And then you're going to funnel them into your social media, okay? And then yesterday I did a stream on figuring out how to basically find out whether or not a girl is interested in you or not, okay? And um so using those signs and stuff like that, you can basically, figure out whether or not she's interested and then take them out on dates and stuff like that. All the while you're planning your next event so that you can meet more women and then put them to your social media. And then you have this never ending funnel of women on your social media that you meet at these events that you've already qualified. Okay. And then you're figuring out whether or not they're actually worthy of taking out on a date and then trying to escalate into, some fun and stuff like that later on. Okay. So this is the flywheel. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to go into this or whatever. Like I said, this was just a funnel that I did for an Instagram ad that I did. I was just giving this away for free. But yeah, so basically, yeah, social media presence, meet these people at the event, qualify the chicks, put them into your social media, and then figure out whether or not they're actually interested in you and not. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me just remove this. Let's bring it back here. All right. Damn, this stream went forever. God damn. If you made it this far, make sure to like the video. Okay. That's all I ask. As nobody that I know is giving away information like this correctly, and doing it in a way that honestly is gonna like boost the quality of women into your life, right? Like, I know you guys want a baddie. I know you guys scroll through social media and be like, "Yo, this girl's hot," and you guys send it to each other on your friends and stuff. Like, you can get these girls. They're nothing special, okay? If you elevate yourself and your status to a position high enough where these girls can actually see you, right? Because most guys are invisible to women, all right? And you don't want to be that guy who's kind of like standing on the sidelines, just like, oh man, she's hot. Should I go approach? And oh, she'll never be with a guy like me. You'll be surprised, man. Like women, if you have a high enough social like status, like they'll get with you even if you're not conventionally attractive. Okay, that's why I keep saying social circle game is the best way of running some a form of game where you can meet girls who are hotter than you, way more attractive than you, and actually still do well with them. Okay, because like I said, if you're the guy running the parties, everybody wants to be your friend, right? All these hot girls want to try to like hang out with you and stuff like that. um you know like I said, it's just this stuff is just crazy value. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much all for this stream. If you guys are interested, okay, later in the new year, okay, I'm going to be building sort of like this army of Asian men, and I'm going to start amassing dudes into, I guess, like private Discord. I haven't really thought about it yet. Okay. And then you can network with guys who have kind of already figured this shit out. Okay. And then if they so happen to be in your local area, then you guys can start doing this stuff together because, well, first, you guys are on the same page and you don't have to do much convincing, right? But like when you look around, most guys, like, they just don't have a brotherhood. They don't have a network of guys that, they can do these types of things with, right? So I think in the future, and I'm not sure, how well this is going to pan out, but hopefully it does well. I'll try to, figure out the logistics and how to kind of like, put everybody into a group, get everybody involved, in their local areas or whatever, and see like, if you guys can start running some social circle game in your area as well. Um, because without it, you're going to be limited to cold approach and dating apps and, relying on like, meeting people at work. And honestly, like, again, like, you're just going to deal with like bottom of the barrel chicks. And if you want to start dating women who are hot, um then you need to up your game. Okay. And social circle game is kind of like an advanced level type of game, but once you figure it out, honestly, like, it's just playing, the game on easy mode. All right. All right, gents. Thanks for sticking through this stream. I know it was quite long. I don't try to keep these ones like this long. It's probably the longest stream yet. But again, it's because, these topics are really important for guys who are like struggling out there, man. Like, I know a lot of Asian dudes out there that, if they just took a little bit of this advice and actually applied it into their life, guaranteed they're going to come out with baddies on the other end. All right. So make sure to like the video on the way out. I got one stream left in the tank tomorrow, and we're going to talk about how to set up your social media properly, as well as your dating profile. Okay. That's tomorrow. And then starting in the new year, I'm going to be starting to do pretty much like it's going to be a different style of content. Okay. I'm going to start live streaming, like live reactions to do like, some trending news, some stuff like that or whatever. And then I'm also going to be doing a Side Quest Saturday segment where I'm going to show you guys how to create, a little bit of a side hustle where you guys can go and, obviously get more money, build yourself up, learn things about business and, learn things about sales and how to network properly in that department and stuff like that, so that, you start upping your value and things like that. So yeah, this channel is going to look a little bit different in the new year, but I just want you guys to know that for the whole month of December, I created this catalog for you guys so that you guys can get up to speed with pretty much everything. Okay. And then after that, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna ramp things up a bit. And once I start growing this channel, we can, start doing some collabs, doing some bigger things with other content creators and stuff like that. So we guys can, just we'll all grow together. All right. All right, ninjas. That's all I got. Make sure to like the video on the way out, subscribe, tell a friend, as it really does help out the channel. And then tomorrow is going to be my last stream of the new year, of this year. Okay, and then that's pretty much it. All right, boys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Rob Base signing off. Peace out, ninjas.